Yeah, thanks for all the questions. We really appreciate them. Before we get on to that, Russ, tonight you're talking about now. Yes, so as soon as we finish this, we'll let you get on to now. And then tomorrow night, which plan you come tomorrow night? Yeah, excellent. You'll be a bit lonely tomorrow night. There is nothing happening here tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, please have the night off. You'll notice that if you've been here 5 nights, that you now have a Bible. So tomorrow night, go home and read the book of Mark, yeah. Mark. No, seriously, he must be a passing bloke. You must have had the same lecture as I had, because Mark's the shortest gospel there is. Mark has a message to say. He wants to tell you this incredibly good news about Jesus, and it's always good gospel stuff. So now is tonight. Tomorrow night, go read the book of Mark or something. Friday night, we're going to talk about risk, and that will happen here at 7:30.
Don't miss Friday night. Don't miss Friday night.
Don't miss Friday night. Okay, so whatever you do, even though we're giving you a night off tomorrow night, don't miss Friday night.
Go and find 5 friends for Friday night. Bring them all.
Yeah, and if you find 6,
7 is alright.
okay, excellent. In other words, bring everybody you know. And then on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, Russell will be right here, talking right here, and he will talk about identity. So make sure that you're here for that one. And then following that, remember we said every Tuesday night, and again Saturday mornings at 11, the series will continue. Russell, we had a few questions that came in.
Yeah, some good tough ones here. So I'll pick the first one, and Trav will take the next, and we'll go round about. Russ, how did you get the date October 13 so accurate as the day that Babylon fell?
Yeah.
Well, you might remember on night number 3, we talked about Babylon falling October 13, 539 BC. Well, we have 2 friends when it comes to understanding the Bible. One is archaeology, the other one is history. There's a little piece of stone that they found called the Nabonidus Chronicle, or the Cyrus Nabonidus Chronicle. And it's a little piece of stone about 5 inches square, cuneiform script, which tells us about the fall of Babylon. And it was probably written by a Persian scribe because it favours the Persians quite heavily. Some would call it Persian propaganda. But it tells us the day which Babylon fell, not according to our Gregorian calendar, but according to the calendar of the day. When you make the conversion, you get, scholars differ on this, but you get within a week, October 12, October 13. There's a little piece which gives us the year, but it's kind of faded or rubbed out, damaged. And so we take the year from historians. And there's a historian by the name of Josephus, and there's 3 or 4 others. Africanus. Tacitus, I don't think Tacitus refers to this one, maybe he does. Ptolemy, there's about 3 or 4 who mention that 539 BC. They don't actually use those terms because we use the words BC when we look back, but they referred to those dates in terms of the calendars they had. So that's how we get the date.
So Russ, just to clarify, if you were able to read, this is in Daniel, later part of Daniel, so I assume it's in the original Aramaic. If you were reading the original Aramaic, it wouldn't say October 13 when this happened. It would give another time.
Yeah, Daniel 5. It doesn't say in our calendar.
Yeah.
It says it in their calendar.
But we can work it out.
Absolutely, we can work it out from archaeology and history.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we've got another question.
On to Trav.
Okay, and this question says, if all eyes are going to see the second coming of Jesus, will everyone see it at the same time or over a period of time? Good question. There is no doubt that when Jesus comes again, every eye will see him. Revelation 1 verse 7 tells us that, and it's very clear. There's also no doubt that Matthew 24 tells us that when Jesus comes, it will be like lightning. As lightning flashes from the east to the west, and one thing you know about lightning is even when you close your eyes, you can still kind of see it. It's always there. Will we all see it at the same time? And I guess this question kind of has to do with the fact that, well, if Jesus is coming and the earth is spinning, and will some people see him before and some people later? Let me just answer this one. God is God. Jesus is who he is, and we need to believe what the Bible says. And the Bible says that when he comes, every eye will see him. Now, is there a time period in there? I'm not too sure. I'd lean on the no side, because, the Bible tells us that God is also omnipresent, which means a big word, which means that he is everywhere. But here's the thing. One of the questions that we had tonight, it says that Jesus is going to come with power and with great glory. So it's not going to be something that, Jesus is coming, he's on the other side of the world, let's turn on CNN to see if we can see him coming. It won't be like that. Every eye will see him. He's going to come with power and great glory. So we will know, as Russell's been talking about, if someone says he's out in the desert or this or that, we will know, every eye will see. So I hope that goes somewhere in answering that question.
Next question. Please explain Matthew 16:28. Okay, so we've got some curly ones. Let's go to Matthew 16:28. I'll read it for you. This one here, Jesus says to his disciples, I tell you the truth, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Okay, so this is Jesus speaking to the people there. And you'll find there's a parallel passage in Mark 9:1, another one in Luke 9:27. In each of these three passages, Matthew, Mark and Luke, you'll find pretty much the same statement by Jesus. Some people have been confused because they've said, well, all those people have died and Jesus hasn't come the second time. So how can that be true? Well, if you take it in the context of the passage, what follows this statement in each of the Gospels, it kind of gives us the answer. And I think that the purpose of each Gospel writer in putting these statements of Jesus in and then following up with the answer or the story, that there's a lot of purpose in them doing that. So I think we can expect the answer to follow. Can you see what follows? What's the heading in your Bibles? Chapter 17. The Transfiguration, where Jesus takes three of his disciples, Peter, James and John, up to the mountain with him. And there they witness a most stunning vision where Jesus is enshrined in glory. Moses and Elijah appear with him, and it's just a glorious event. And Jesus is transfigured, is the term that's used. I believe this is a reference to the transfiguration which followed those statements in each of those three Gospels. I hope that answers that one. Trev.
Okay, another question came in that says, show me in the Bible, thank you for using that term, where it says that heaven is not on earth. Well, there's actually a number of places that we can go to, and let me tell you one that you all know. The Lord's Prayer, Our Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in. So there clearly is two different spots. But perhaps I'll tie this in with the second coming that we've been talking about. And in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, in fact, if you want to have a look, this is on page 838. Page 838. And it talks about, this is all about the second coming, and it talks about when Jesus comes back to earth. And in 2 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16, right at the top of the page there, it says the Lord himself will come down from where? He will come down from heaven. Okay, remember Russell was talking about this. He'll come down with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, with the trumpet call of God. Russell, I must stop here. Whenever I'm teaching this to kids, the New King James says, I usually get very quiet and say, okay, this is what the Bible says. The Lord will come down with a shout. You see everyone jump, and they really like that. But anyway, the point is, it's going to be loud. Okay? But you can see there, where's the Lord coming down from? He's coming down from heaven. Have a look at verse 15. After that, we who are still alive and left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so we'll be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage, comfort one another with these words. So I think the Bible is fairly clear that there's a difference between heaven and heaven is not on earth. However, when we talk about, what is it, Russ, justice? We will be talking about where we actually live and where we will live, and we'll talk about a new heaven and a new earth.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I want to flip through these, sorry about that.